All right, all right, all right. Peace, blessings, enough, holy, plenty, a lot of love to all our queens and all our kings on this deep dive globally changing lives. And of course, we thank you all for joining us here on the meeting platform and of course on the varied YouTube platforms. Thank you all very much for being here and for joining us on this another uh, Thursday. We do hope and trust that you had a good week thus far, and that as the weekend marches on, that you will be more blessed and highly favored. And so, moving forward, as you know, we are going to play the theme song, which is In It to Win It by our one and only Queen Loretta Shadari. And she has gifted us this song, and we have been using this song for ages. And so she's an international, well-renowned um, singer and songwriter and 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 performer. And so we just want to thank Queen Loretta Shadari for gifting us this song, In It to Win It.
We are here, shining bright into the future with wise mind. We are lifting up humanity as we rise, standing tall, hand in hand. We are a unicorn, we are the stars.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
All right. Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Queen Lerato Shadari. Okay. Wonderful. So, moving right along, as you know, my favorite topic, the mindset.
Mindset.
The mindset. You have to have a good, productive, successful, optimistical mindset to live peaceably with yourself and with others. Because whether you want to believe or not, the mindset is the most powerful item in everyone's life. No matter who you are, no matter if you're tall, you're slim, you're fat, you're trim, it doesn't matter. If you're young, you're old, it doesn't matter. It's the mindset that is the number one thing that will actually get you through this life that we are living. And so, none other than our queen naturopathic doctor, Jacqueline Warner, that once again will be sharing with us. Of course, she's an entrepreneur. Long time ago, she is a, a co-host, and she's a host on our own talk show. And of course, she's a grandmother of 10 children. Can't believe that one. Oh no. So, what should you know? What shall we know about mucus? Mucus. That is a very distasteful subject, because when people sneeze and that thing come out, it doesn't look pretty. But anyway, the only a naturopathic doctor would be dealing with these things. So, as I said, we will turn you over now to Queen Jacqueline Warner.
Thank you so much, Dr. Derrick. Appreciate that introduction. And thank you to all the members that's available and those on the youth, like Dr. Derrick said, on various YouTube channels. We welcome each and every one of you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for showing up. And I hope everybody had a great day. Anyway, we appreciate this platform, and we appreciate you, Dr. Derrick, you and your wife. So yes, tonight the topic is about what we need to know about mucus, and like Dr. Derrick said, it's not a tasteful subject. When you think of it, it's sticky and gooey and yucky. But it's some things that we need to know about mucus and how the role it plays within our system, and why it's there, and why is it needed. So I'm gonna start opening with just a little hook. Just imagine when you walk into your kitchen and you forget to take out the garbage for days, not just one day, but for days. And some people then their garbage cans are so big that they don't want to waste their garbage bags. So it stays in there, and whoo, when they open it, they can blow you away. But there's no airflow, and there's no circulation, there's no cleansing going on. And what you think happens? It begins to rotten. Even if you don't leave it in there for days, I think even a couple of days it already starts to deteriorate and creatures start to manifest. So it attracts bacteria, of course. It produces an odor, which we know of, and it becomes very toxic. And now we need to ask ourselves this question: what happens when the same kind of stagnation happens inside the human body? Well, it becomes just like that garbage can. That's why sometimes people have body odors, sometimes bad breath or all kind of different odors coming from within their pores out through their skin, and sometimes they just don't know what's going on. And a lot of this information I got is from Dr. Sebi, and I used to follow him years ago before, the late Dr. Sebi, because he passed on. But a lot of the information I got from him, and I must say Dr. Sebi healed a lot of people. He was a real asset. He brought value to the table. But he's gone, but he's not forgiven, and his stuff is left behind. And thank God, for his children carrying on his legacy, his healing power through the compounds that they create. Now, Dr. Sebi was Alfredo Darrington Bowman, and he's known worldwide as Dr. Sebi, even though he's not a doctor or a scientist. He's just a plain guy, just a Honduran herbalist and a natural healer. And he taught that the body is designed to heal itself. And it's honestly, the body is, God made the body that way. The body wasn't made by itself that way. That's the way God made it. And disease is the result of imbalance and toxicity. And natural plant-based nutrition and herbs can restore our health. And it really can. Dr. Derrick is living proof of that. He changed from 1989, and look at him today, still standing tall and strong. And he influenced thousands by promoting plant-based diets. He has books out. I have a couple of his books, Herbal Remedies and Detoxification. And that's something we need to give the body time to revitalize. We always have it going and going and going and going, and we don't realize, just like we get tired, those organs within our system get tired too. So, and his message actually resonated because it pointed people back to nature. It gave us some discipline and responsibility for our health or their health. Okay. So what is mucus? The truth. Mucus is a protective, slippery substance. It is actually produced by the body. So even though it's slimy and sticky, it is there for a reason. Okay. It's there to protect. So when we have all of those toxins coming in, dust and all these things that come towards us that we could sometimes can't even see with our naked eye, that mucus traps it and it can't go anywhere. If you think of the alien and all that slime, that mucus that was coming out of his mouth and covering his victims, so he was using it also to trap. And that's what the mucus actually is in our body, is to trap the toxins and the dust and all the things that come at our bodies that we're totally unaware of, besides the stuff that we put in it ourselves. Okay. It produced by the body mucous membranes. And that's what gets compromised, is the mucous membranes. And when that gets compromised, it breaks down, it's broken, it's weakened. you know. So now it needs to revitalize. It has to get that energy back, because wherever it's broken, that's where disease can sit in, wherever it may be. If it's in your lungs, you'll get pneumonia. If it's in your nose, you get sinusitis. In the in your lungs, you get bronchitis. So all these are things that are formed from mucus when it is compromised. You know, Dr. Sebi stated that, you know, they think that disease, diabetes is one thing, leukemia is another thing, but to him it all stemmed from mucus, because wherever mucus locates itself, that's where the problem, inflammation and different things start to manifest in that area until it becomes out of order or blown out of proportion. Okay. Now, when it's found in the nose and the lungs, the digestive tract, it's found in the skin, it's found in the blood. So it's a reason for it being there, because when it becomes compromised or broken, it starts to flow with the blood. And what it does, it covers the group of cells that are the group of cells that belongs to organs. So imagine that it's sticky and it's gooey and it gets on those cells. They're not even able to move. And what happened, because it's like it's suffocating those group of cells, they get deprived of oxygen. So they're not getting enough oxygen. That's where poor circulation and all kind of other issues can take place, even though they feel like each disease is of its own, but it all, in some shape or form, it comes from mucus, because mucus cover the cells when it gets when it moves like the blood. Okay, where am I? Okay, what's the role? The role of the mucus is critical. It traps bacteria, like I said, dust and toxins. It keeps tissue moist. You know, it supports the immune defense. And without mucus, we would not be able to survive. We need that mucus there. As icky as it may sound, as sticky and gooey as it may look, let me tell you, God puts everything there for a purpose. Okay, it's just that what happens, the acidic foods that we put in our system, it makes excessive mucus. We get too much, and the system gets overwhelmed with all this excessive mucus. And if we're not cleaning it out, and we just keep on dirtying it up, like Dr. CB said, if we keep on eating the things that was not created by our Heavenly Father, we're going to always be in trouble. So somewhere along the line, we have to take heed. And really, because, oh my God, these things out here, the food out here is just awful. I think awful is an understatement. I would say it's wicked. Because it puts you in a place where almost like, what should I eat? But according to Dr. CB, we should eat what is alive, because we are electrical beings. And we tend to not realize that we are electrical forces. You know, that's why a lot of things that we can attract were actually came from the same earth. And so we came from the earth. We will need the minerals from the earth. And that's the minerals that the body will recognize. So when we put in things that the body don't recognize, it's set aside there as waste, because it doesn't really know what to do with it. And that's where it gets fermented and it sits there. And maybe the mucus gets all covered up. It doesn't get any oxygen. It's fermented. It becomes something. Okay, because when it doesn't get the oxygen to breathe, it's no longer alive. It actually is dead within a system that is alive. So that's where we get manifestation of different diseases start to take place within a system that is alive. Now, where the message need balance, Dr. CB taught that there's only one disease, and that is mucus. And some people don't believe that, and it's okay. The idea is too simplistic and medically inaccurate. Here's the truth. Disease have many causes, right? You have infection, some people say genetics, inflammation, lifestyle, and aging. And all of those actually do really play a role. And excess mucus can be symptoms, not the root cause. However, chronic inflammation, poor diet, of course, and toxins overload do contribute also to many diseases. Because if we keep on eating bad food and we're not cleaning it out, and then we clean it out and we put the same bad food out, we're defeating the purpose and we're not getting anywhere at all. Because some people feel, well, I'm detoxing, so you know what? I could still have that steak. I could have those potatoes. I could go and have some fast food because I'm detoxing. No, it doesn't work that way. They don't go hand in hand at all. Either we're going to do it right or we're not going to do it at all. That's it. There's no middle, you know. I mean, a lot of times we tend to put but in there. But maybe, maybe it's okay. Yeah, I could do it. I mean, why should I deprive myself when I could have an ice cream? Is not saying that you can't. There's good and bad in everything, and you just have to choose the good and leave the bad. It's simple as that. We make it hard, you know. We make it difficult and said we can't do it. I talked to a friend the other day, and he said, well, the only thing I can't give up is I can't give up fish and poultry. But yes, he can, but he feel he cannot. And that's what Dr. Derrick was talking about, limited beliefs, how we train our own minds. You know, we create our own havoc. You know, we can do, God said in his word that we can do anything in Christ that strengthens us. And that alone right there, I mean, I have to tell myself that every time when I get stuck somewhere, I could do anything and everything with God who strengthened me. So why am I allow myself to be, you know, bogged down or stressed out? No, you can do anything. You know, my granddaughter always said, like, I can't, and I don't love that. I don't like that word at all. And said the word to use is that I will try. I will learn how to. And all we got to do is learn how to make those changes. You know, when I first learned about Dr. CB, I started a new diet. I followed him immediately. And it wasn't like he had a specific diet. I just started eating stuff that was alive. And even when I went with my kids to restaurants, wherever they went, I would just either carry my salads with me, or I will ask them what they have there that I can eat. If they had a salad, that's what I will settle for. And it was well satisfying. I didn't feel deprived because they was having ribs or chicken or whatever it was. I was so well content. And when I ate that way, my system, to tell you the truth, felt 100%. I could tell you that. It really did. So it can be done. Small steps, you know, as usual. All right. So while mucus itself is not a disease, mucus itself is not a disease. It burdens, it inflames the system, can absolutely lead to illness. That means if you have excess mucus in your system, you know, people who get up in the morning and they're clearing their throat, or they're blowing their nose, or they're coughing up mucus just like that. They didn't even eat anything. They just got out of bed. That means your body is overwhelmed with mucus, or you're breathing and you could hear this rattling within your body, you know you have a lot of mucus. You know, the body tells us. It is not a body that doesn't it doesn't talk, but it definitely let us know what is going on. We're the one in charge of it, so we need to take heed at times. Okay. And what is disease? Disease is a disruption of a normal body function. Or disease is the mucus itself. And why I say the mucus itself, because the problem only comes when the body is overwhelmed with mucus and it attach itself, or wherever it located. If it goes in the brain, you're going to have Parkinson disease or paranoia or schizophrenia, but people really don't associate mucus with that, because they were like, mucus, it don't sound, it doesn't make sense. But you have to know how the body works, and that mucus is part of our entire system. Okay. It caused by factors like infection, inflammation, poor nutrition, toxins, and genetics. But here's the key: many modern diseases are lifestyle driven also. And that's where this message becomes powerful, because the real problem, overload and inflammation, is when the body is overwhelmed. It produces more mucus. The system becomes congested. Oxygen delivery can be affected, which it is affected. Inflammation rises, because sometimes we walking around and thinking we're okay, but our body, just because we're breathing in air, some of our organs are deprived from oxygen, and we're totally unaware until you take a quantum test, you know, and that's not covered by insurance. You have to come out your pockets, but that's when you will know all kind of things going on with your body that you're totally unaware of, and you don't get it at your doctor's office. And this can contribute to conditions like sinus issues, respiratory infections, digestive problems. But conditions like Parkinson and schizophrenia are far more complex than mucus alone, even though mucus plays a role in it. Now, acidic versus alkaline foods, and we're just going to clarify a little bit. I mentioned acid foods, and let's refine that. The body tightly regulates blood pH. It does. Food does not directly change the blood pH, but it does influence inflammation and metabolic health. Foods that promote inflammation often called acidic. Highly processed foods. We hear the same things over and over. Sugary drinks, excess red and processed meats, refined carbohydrates, excess dairy. For some individuals, you know, some individuals can eat dairy and they don't have no problem. But some people eat dairy and they have sticky mucus. Sometimes when they cough, it flies automatically out of their mouth, right out their throat, out their mouth. That's to tell you how thick and nasty that is. And because we can't see it, and sometimes we don't even know it's there. You know, foods that support and balance often called alkaline, because like the leafy greens. Okay, when you eat those things, when you eat things that are live, there is no side effects. You do not feel bloated. You do not feel tired. You don't want to go to sleep, you know. And when you eat these acidic foods, you want to know if there's a drug in there, because immediately after eating those acidic foods, you're ready to like, oh man, I'm ready to lay down. I wish my bed was close by. You know, these are the things we're saying after we eat poison. It weakens you instead of make you energetic. But when you eat alkaline food, they make you energetic, you know. My granddaughter got to take a salad to school the other day, and she came home and said, Mommy, make another one of those. It was so good because it's light. It doesn't wear you down. It gives you energy. You can go, you not even say eat more because you feel so fulfilled with what you have eaten already. The fruits, they are refreshing. Vegetables. Some people don't eat vegetables at all. And like I said, I had a couple of webinars back where there is an order to eat so you can build that mesh. So you don't spike your blood sugar, you don't spike your hypertension. That none of those things are spiked if we eat in order. Sometimes we think we can eat carbohydrates and protein together, but there's an order for everything. But we didn't know, I didn't know, so we're all learning. And God said, my people perish because of lack of knowledge. And then when sometimes we get the knowledge, we throw it to the side because the like Dr. DrDerrick said, the stuff is already embedded in our brain. And my mom told me that, or my dad or my grandparents told me that. And it's word. It's concrete. You can't tell me nothing else. The only word to me is concrete is God's word. Everybody else's word is shady. Okay? But God's word is always truth. And if we know, he said it in his word that the fruits and vegetables is the meats for us to eat. It says it in Genesis. He tells us what to eat. The nuts and the seeds. Not these fruits that they make no seed. Those things are not alive because they cannot give life. And that's the difference between seed and non-seed, because one gives life and one doesn't. You can't go in your backyard after you eat a grape and say, let me drop those grape seeds in the earth and get me a grape tree. Or let me plant my watermelon. If they don't have roots and they don't have seeds, they are absolutely dead already. And you're taking our hard-earned money and we're buying things that are dead to feed a body that is alive. We're killing our own selves. Whole and unprocessed plant foods. Whole foods heal. Processed foods harm. And we want to put it more drastic. Processed food kills. It's just that it's doing it in a slower way, slow death. It's just like when somebody is feeding somebody poison, but they're not giving them the full dosage. They give spoon every day. They get them a little bit. They know eventually they're gonna go. They ain't gonna go right now, but they're gonna go eventually. Well, that's just the same way the food industry is looking at it, because while they're stuffing their pockets, they're emptying our pockets and taking our lives away too at the same time. That is not fair. That is not worthy. Can you remove mucus completely? Of course not, because it's part of the system. Okay, it's essential to our very well-being. It's there for a purpose. It has a job to do. But what you can do is reduce the excess mucus production by limiting the acidic foods that we eat. And maybe doing it in a combination where it's 20-80, 20 acidic, 80 alkaline. That way, more alkalinity is happening within the body than acidic, because we do need acid also to break down foods and other functions that's its responsibility within the body. So it's not like we don't need some of these things, but not in excess, not in abundance. Okay, and improve clearance, and support healthy membranes. We don't want to compromise it no more than it is compromised. We want to revitalize it. We want to regain that energy that was robbed from the disease wherever it was located or wherever it manifested. So that's the whole idea, is to get that energy back. And we can do that because, remember, the body is made to heal itself. And how to restore the body practical. You got to nourish it. Don't starve it. Eat whole plant-rich foods. Eat your beets, eat your kale, eat your collard greens, eat your turnips, eat your butter squash, zucchini. It's so much healthy things there to eat that we get caught up in the things that is not good for us. I do it at times myself. I know it's not good. I know for myself, and sometimes, I'm just going to try it out. I'm going to just try it. But I'm only hurting myself. At the end of the day, I'm not hurting anyone else. And yes, I am. I'm hurting my family too, because we all play a major role in some area of our family's life. And we got to hydrate properly. We got to drink water, and not just any kind of water. People drink purified water. I'm not sure how it's being purified. Anything that they put heat kills nutrients. Anything that is pasteurized or they use heat, and it kills the nutrients one time. Drink your spring water. Make sure you're not drinking water ice cold, especially early in the morning. People are drinking ice cold. They shock the organs. Like, what is going on here? You support natural detox systems. Your body already detoxes through the liver. God already set it up to detox. All we got to do is the little part. We don't even have to do the major part. We're just doing the little part. The liver doing its part, the kidneys doing its part, the lungs doing its part, and the skin. And we just right there to do a little part. Let me give you a little break. Let me give my body a break. Let me don't eat. Today, I'm just going to flush. I'm just going to drink. I'm going to flush out some toxins today. Maybe today and tomorrow, I'm going to flush out some toxins. You ain't going to die. We're not going to die if we just take 2 days and say, you know what? Jesus fasted for 40. Imagine. And there are people that do fast for 40. So we just got a little job to do. Then we can support our lungs or kidneys by drinking the water. That's how we could do, and eating rich food, rich in fiber. Getting your chia seed in there. Adding it to your salads, adding it to your smoothies. It's simple. It will have no taste. The seeds are so small, it doesn't interrupt anything while you're eating because they're so small. You don't have to gag and spit them out or anything like that. But it's a fiber. It works well for the colon, And most of all, there come that one that's so important: sleep. We gotta sleep. Okay, get your rest. Minerals matter. Minerals, they support the nerve function. They aid in cellular energy, and they maintain the fluid balance. That means it maintains the mucus. You don't have that excess mucus. And sources include like the leafy greens. Again, we're going back to nuts and seeds and whole foods. No need for extreme or exotic compounds for most people. I think just knowing the things to eat is already you're already on the way to success. And Dr. CB promote herbs like kalawala, contribo, cordoncillo negro, and the one that he favored the most is pavana, and he make those into a compound and administer it. So you can always visit his website, which is owned by his son, and check it out. And some herbs may support immunity and reduce inflammation. And claims those using those herbs, which are electrical. They are all electrical, so you won't run for something like comfrey and peppermint. And what else he said? Peppermint, aloe vera, and something else, and golden seal. You won't run for things like that they're not considered electrical herbs, but those four I mentioned are electrical herbs, and when taken in a compound, when they administer that way, people start to feel the difference within 24 hours. When I tell you, when you decide to say, hey, I'm putting that down, I'm putting dairy down, and you put it down, you're gonna notice the difference immediately. I'm telling you, I know people that follow Dr. CB and said, hey, don't do this, don't do that. And when we didn't do this and we didn't do that, we saw progress. We saw results. I could say that for sure. So herbs can help, but they are supportive and they're not magical cures. Okay, so don't think, oh, because everything don't work for everybody. So you have to be like your own guinea pig, and then you find what works for you, and then you stick to that. Okay, but everything don't work for everybody. Not because it works for Jill, that means it's going to work for John. No, it doesn't work that way. Now, the real path to cleansing, true cleansing is not extreme detox. It is consistent, healthy eating, reducing the toxins, and supporting natural body systems. Not quick fixes, just like it's when we join programs, it's not a quick fix. It's gonna take some time to get wherever you're going. But you're gonna get there as long as you put in the time and the effort. And let me say this clearly, you don't need to fight your body. You need to support it. And our body is not our enemy. It is our greatest ally. So mucus is a protective, not our enemy. That's just to summarize. And excess mucus can signal imbalance within the system itself. Disease is a multifactorial, not one singular cause. Diet plays a major role in inflammation and health, and it really does, because once you get diagnosed with a disease, they're going to say your body has a lot of inflammation in it, and you need to get rid of it, and you need to eat right, you need to walk, and you need to go and drink water. The same things that we keep on repeating over and over are the same things, 4 major things that we have to do all the time. Okay, and whole foods and healthy habits restore balance. Extreme claims should be approached with wisdom. In conclusion, health is not found in extremes. It is found in balance, discipline, and truth. The body is designed by God with intelligence to heal, to protect, and to restore. But it requires a partnership. So I thank you so much. I hope this topic will open our eyes and open our minds for us to take charge when it comes to our life and the way we treat our bodies. So thank you so much, Dr. Derrick, and back to you.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much, Queen Naturopathic Dr. Jacqueline Warner.
Thank you, Dr. Derrick.
Really appreciate, really do appreciate. That was awesome.
Thank you.
There you have it. We can only give you the information. What you do with it is up to you.
Amen.
But when push come to shove, just like how Mr. Ford is the one that made the Ford vehicles, and Mr. Ferrari is the one that made the Ferraris. And I'm sure if you buy any vehicle, you are going to try your very best to stick to the manual.
Yeah.
Now, you see, that is why my belief is that there is a God, because everything line up, everything matches up. And I don't have to look at anyone I am my own guinea pig, because from 1998 until now, I have not eaten no flesh. Because you see, and it's really not the flesh, you know. Let me just bring a little clarity to that. You know, because persons try to say, well, oh, Jesus give the his disciples flesh from the fish pot, but they didn't remember, in in the um the wilderness, when they were murmuring for the flesh, and they got quail, enough fish, that even while they were eating, it was coming back through them nose and them eye and them ears and all of those things. 300,000 dead. They don't read that part. They only read the fisherman part. But it's about trusting God. That is what it is about. Trusting His promise and promises. And so therefore, just like how He promised He will not destroy the earth with a flood, and boom, He put the rainbow in the sky to seal that promise. It's the same thing. There are many promises in the Word. Most of those promises come with a condition. And so, one of the major promises that I follow since 1998, and I used to have asthma. I was an asthma baby. And, you know, love cheese. I don't think anybody loves cheese more than me. Our mother used to buy a tin, 1 tin of tasty cheese, 1 tin. And that is devoured within a week. 1 week, 1 tin, not a pound of cheese, you know. She don't buy half pound of cheese or a pound of cheese. No. My mother buy a tin, and not the half tin, the full tin of cheese. So we would eat cheese sandwich. So we cut 3 slices of cheese, 1 cheese on top, 1 cheese in the middle, 1 slice of cheese at the bottom. That is what you call cheese sandwich. Okay? And that's what we used to eat. Sometimes we spread a little sugar and butter on that also. Right? So that was how we used to indulge in cheese and butter. Love it. So when I stopped eating cheese, it was that did sound like an impossible thing for most people. You don't eat cheese? My brother said, you stop eating cheese? Well, all right, more for me. That's the only thing he said. All right. And this is 1998. And I'm still living, still alive, still kicking. Don't have any issues. You can't stop eating meat, man. Where are you going to get your protein? And nobody has ever heard of anybody suffer from protein deficiency. That is something that nobody ever heard of anyone suffering from protein deficiency. Nobody. So Your body can't store protein. When you have the knowledge of something, then that is where you know what you can or cannot do. Know what you are about. Your body can't store protein. So it just need a certain amount for the day. You understand? So I forget how many grams. And it's not plenty. One leg and thigh for those who know about flesh. As you know, that's how we have to break it down. One leg and thigh, and you're good. That's it. You don't want no more protein. You're just going to pass it out. Not going to stay with it. So you don't want any more. Right? So by the time you eat some rice and peas, and yes, because peas have protein. And by the time you eat some nuts, and so you're good to go. Good to go. But watch this now. I was talking about flesh. Flesh. Exodus 15. Exodus 15 and I think about 26. Exodus 15 and about 26. The Lord God himself said, if you stick to my commandments and take heed to my laws, I will not allow any of the diseases to come upon you that came upon the Egyptian. I am the Lord your God that healeth you. That's not verbatim, but that's about what it says. And so that promise I hold dearly to my heart, dearly, since 1998. That's the best doctor on the planet, Dr. Jesus, because he don't deal with curative measures. He deal with preventative measures, which is what I like. Because my great-grandmother Dingy would say prevention better than cure. And she lived to 198. I mean 108, sorry. 108, 108. So I think she know a little something. Think she know a little something. So I am saying, and those people, great-grandmother, my grandmother, they used to raise their own fowl, own chicken. They have like 50 to 100 chicken. Big chicken coop in the yard. That is how we get egg. And that's how we used to get chicken. Never buy from supermarket. Because chicken must take 13 weeks. Not 4 weeks. Not 1 month. 13 weeks. So anytime after that, then you can kill him. And you kill him, drain out the blood. Because the blood is the problem. The blood is what carries disease. And that is why God himself told the children of Israel, if you're going to eat flesh, do not consume the blood. It is a reproach to God. Because the life of the flesh is in the blood. Genesis 9, 4 and 5. Because it's a sin. For those Bible believers, it is a sin to consume blood. Okay? So try to understand that. If you remember there's this movie that what's his name? Oh Lord, what's the name of the Coming to America guy again? Coming to America. What name again?
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy.
Mhm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Eddie Murphy coming to a movie some time ago. I think it's back in the 90s. Um, where he's supposed to be the chosen one, where he's supposed to rescue this little boy, about maybe about 9 or 10 years old. But that child was a special child, or supposed to be a special child. And quote unquote, the devil had him captive for him to eat blood and defile himself. It was very unique. You know, a lot of people just watch that movie and well, nice movie, but it's very significant. The only thing the little child ate was leaf of life. One leaf of life, he had about 4 or 5 of them in his pocket, and he ate one per day. And that little leaf of life kept him. It was very profound movie. I don't remember what it named. It was a very profound movie. And so let us trust God. That's our major problem. We trust what the American Diet Society says. We trust what the health persons say. We trust everybody else except God, as Bible believing people, as Christians, as persons who believe in Jesus Christ. Let us trust God. The children of Israel went 40 years. 40 years. I mean, it's 1998. That's how much now? 1998. That's like 30. 2010, 2020. That's 20 something. So I'm not gone 40 yet. 20 something, near to 30. 20, where we now? 6. So 28. All right, I'm gone 28 years. 40 years in the wilderness. No sickness. It can be done. It has been done. People right now in Loma Linda is living 100 plus. No diabetes, no high blood pressure, no sickle cell, no the 100 plus. Right there. So we're not talking about Bible days. We're talking about right here in our society today. People in Japan, same thing, a group of people, one area, right? Etc. About 5 places, 5 known places. They call them the blue zone. 5, only 5. Why? Because they stick to the right diet, the right lifestyle. I shouldn't say diet, because it's not just a diet. It's a lifestyle. So it's there. It's proven over and over again. But the problem, naturopathic Dr. Queen Jacqueline Warner, is we are lazy. That's it. Come down to laziness. I can't bother for I take too long to prepare, and that's a lie, you know. Yes, you want to prepare like a meat and prepare veggie and prepare this, and you want to do everything one thing, you know. So, oh, it's too expensive. Why expensive more than oxtail? Eh? What more expensive than fish? Eh? Or you get vegetarian to be, you see, because they want to eat vegetarian meat. And that does pack of sodium. That's all. Don't have much nutritional value either. Right? Because them want something that look like flesh. And because they want something that look like flesh, then the next thing is, then oh, you are vegetarian and you still sicky. Because you're still not eating what God said. Still not eating what God said. That's why I don't promote or talk vegetarianism. No, not into that. Because I'm not a vegetarian. When people say, "Are you a vegetarian?" I say, "No, I'm not a vegetarian. I eat what the Bible tell me to eat and avoid what the Bible tell me to avoid. That's who I am. Not that I will never be sick, because we are living in a sinful world and it's possible still. But that is why we trust in God, because God said to trust him and he will never leave you or forsake you. That's what him say. That him say no. He never go around the corner and I can trust him, because him tell me say I can trust him. And so because him tell me say I can trust him, I just trust him. So me good. Let us trust in God, especially as Bible believing Christian. You're not missing anything. I have been doing it for almost 30 years, and I don't miss it. I don't miss it. No. I can sit down right beside you eating your chicken and chips. And I'm eating my avocado and carrot and cucumber and beetroot. Yeah. And I don't feel bad. There's a lot of persons, well, let me not say a lot, a few persons that used to ridicule me when I was in my in my journey. Let me put it as journey. When I was in my journey, a lot of people ridicule me. And almost every week, some of them, they are the doctor. Some of them drop out. And God is keeping me still good and vibrant and good. Love me good. So trust in God. That's all. Trust God with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him and he will direct your path. Trust in God. Thank you very much, Queen Jacqueline Warner.
Thank you, Dr. Derrick, also for adding to it and helping us to see that at the end of the day, it's all about God.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, so we don't realize that, Queen Jacqueline.
Yeah.
We don't realize that, God created us to love us. Because he loved us, he created us.
Yep.
At the end of the day, it's all about God. It's not about me.
We're just dust. We are just dust.
Oh my goodness.
We just realize that we're absolutely nothing. But because of God, because of his grace, because of his mercy.
Eh? We are nothing. We puff up our chest. Oh, I am, I have couple degrees and I have, this and, I have me this and I have me that and I have, what is man?
Aye.
You puff up your chest today and you lay down in your bed tomorrow
Mm.
and 6 man are carry out the next day.
Okay, no.
Eh?
That ain't no joke, boy.
What is man? We don't understand that, We really don't understand that, We really don't understand that. Humble ourselves
In the
and
sight of the
trust
Lord.
in God. That's the only person to trust.
Yep,
Not even yourself.
you're sure right.
Am I not the great Nebuchadnezzar
Hmm.
who built Babylon? There
Really
is
after
none other as great as I am.
Hmm.
And him in the wilderness. I eat grass
Okay
for
then.
7 years. God lick him down on the ground. Nebuchadnezzar eat grass for 7 years.
Oh, wow.
7 years I eat grass in the field. Like cow. Not even on plate. Eat it on your plate.
Wow.
All right, read it. Daniel. Book of Daniel. Nebuchadnezzar get licked down because him a big up him chest like him a God. You know, they are nothing. Nothing. We are nothing.
We are nothing for real.
Right?
I think, sometimes you just got to look at those people who are leaving and see how they leaving and know we are nothing. They don't be thinking about car. They don't be thinking about house. They don't be thinking about their bank account. They be thinking about God, where they going, what they need to say, what they need to do at the end of the day. So if we do it now and get ourselves in the right mindset and trust in God and believe in Him wholeheartedly, in spirit and in truth, because the second life gonna be spirit life. So, just trust in God.
With all your heart.
And all your mind and all your soul, and you're gonna be all right.
You'll be all right. Lean not to your own understanding.
Because that will get you in trouble. Every time.
You get a lot of people in trouble already.
I can say that for
sure. All right. Thank you very much, Queen Jacqueline Warner.
You're welcome, sir.
Awesome. Oh, mercy. This topic hit me, man. Hit me nicely.
Hit you.
But anyway, let me see if I can just see my present. Mercy, Queen Jacqueline Warner. Forget that me have a presentation. King Carlton, I forgot that had a presentation. Oh my goodness. All right. Anyway, we roll this show quickly. It's not long. Maybe 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes the most. Let me run through it quickly.
Okay.
Let me run through it quickly. Because this kind of ties in. This kind of ties into what?
Mindset.
Mindset. Yes, it's all about the mindset, It's all about the mindset. Yep. And we have a lot of ideologies about the mindset that is not good. All right. So we're going to look at one as we speak right now. And this one is where have you limited yourself without realizing it? Because sometimes we don't realize it. All right? That's how the mind sometimes works. It kind of even mesmerize our own self, right? So let us identify hidden limitations. The greatest
Prison.
prison. Hold on. Mm, yeah. All right. The greatest prison is not the one around you, it's the one within you. Many limitations are invisible. They feel like facts, not beliefs. They quietly shape decisions, habits, and also outcomes. What are self-imposed limitations? Self-imposed limitations are beliefs you're accepted as truth. So you accept these as truth when really and truly they are just limitations. Fear you have normalized. Remember, false evidence appear real, right? Fear you have normalized. Patterns you repeat without questioning. And that's the same thing, you're born and grow, and you see your mother and your father and people all around you eating flesh. And so you just do it. I just do it. Yeah, let me talk about me. I just do it because that's what you grow and see everybody doing. So you just do. But when you get the wisdom, and wisdom only come from God, right? Then you think differently. But then you need to also act what you are now thinking differently, because I'm not good enough. That's what a lot of people tell themselves. And over time, it become normal to think that you are not good enough. That's just who I am. No, that's not who you are. You're a child of God, and God didn't make you that way. So we're trying to limit God and what God can do in our lives. People like me don't succeed in that or that or that. But that's a lie from hell. And I'm here to tell you that it's a lie. Where do these limitations come from? Past experiences, failures, rejection, environment, family culture, community, labels given by others or even yourself, fear of change or failure. So, what was once protection may now be restriction. Common areas where we limit ourselves. One, the mindset. See that? We're limiting ourselves. Fixed thinking versus growth thinking. Believing abilities are permanent. No, nobody born as a carpenter. So nobody born with a fixed mindset. No. And even today, if you have a fixed mindset, it can be rewritten for you to now have a growth mindset. Two, opportunities. Not applying, not trying, not stepping forward. Move forward. The children of Israel standing at the Red Sea. And it's not until when God told Moses to step forward. Of course, that step is a step of faith, because obviously the Red Sea is right there in front of them. They are looking at the Red Sea. And as those persons at the front, along with Moses, start to step forward, moving into the water peel back itself and dry land appear. So step forward. Relationships. Settling for less, avoiding connection due to fear. 4. Purpose. Playing small, ignoring your calling. Because every one of us have a calling. Everyone has a calling. Know your calling. Know your purpose. What God wanted you for. The subtle signs of limitations. You may be limiting yourselves if you overthink everything, avoid risk, staying in your comfort zone too long, don't play your gifts, wait for perfect timing. There's no such thing as a perfect time. As I said, you have to step out in faith. Comfort zone trap. Feels safe but prevents growth. Familiar, not equal to beneficial. Growth requires discomfort at times. Key truth, comfort can quickly become your cage. You're trapped. Just like a story I once heard a couple of weeks ago. Is that this what do you call it now? This what's the oh Lord. Mouse. Right, this mouse. This mouse was in a little glass cage. And they put a scorpion in the glass cage with the mouse. But they put a glass partition between the mouse and the scorpion. So every time the scorpion tried to stick him with him tail, he's actually sticking the glass. Boom, 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 over and over, repeatedly. Boom, boom, boom. Days turn into weeks. Boom, boom, boom. Weeks turn into months. And the scorpion become very frustrated, I guess, at the many attempts that it is making without any success. And so the scorpion give up trying. So much so that he just stayed there ready to die. And lo and behold, the person slowly and gradually lift the partition between the scorpion and the mouse. And even though the partition, the glass partition was removed, the scorpion just lie there, doing nothing, because the scorpion was overwhelmed with the amount of try, the amount of attempts that the scorpion just give up all hope. And when we give up hope, the only thing is left is to die. And unfortunately, that is why a lot of people commit suicide, because they give up hope. Internal dialogue check. Just look inside. What do you say to yourself when you fail? Ask yourself, what do you say to yourself? I know I couldn't do it. I know it was difficult. I'm not try that again. You are challenged. What do you say to yourself when you are challenged? When you are presented with opportunities? Limiting thoughts sounds like, I can't, I'm not ready, what if I fail? Let us come out of that zone. Reflection questions. Ask yourself, where have I stopped trying? What have I talked myself out of? What am I afraid to pursue and why? What would I do if fear wasn't in control? Let us recognize that we sometimes are our biggest hindrances. I thank you very much, and I hope that these words will lift your spirit, recognizing that power lies in the love that God created us with. We were created in God's image, in his likeness. So let us know that we are powerful with the power from above. Stop feeding ourselves mediocrity and lifting up ourselves, because we belong to the creator of this universe, the whole universe. Can you imagine? How would you feel? How would you feel if Bill Gates was your daddy? Come on, and Bill Gates don't have nothing yet. Yeah? I mean, nothing. How would you feel if Warren Buffett was your daddy? And Warren Buffett not reached nowhere yet. Not in comparison. If you're going to compare, no comparison to God. None. So why are we worried? Why do we fret when God is much bigger, much wealthier than Warren Buffett and Bill Gates and Steve Jobs and Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and all the Arabs that just buy a Lamborghini and give it away? You see, we minimize God, and that is what we do. We minimize him and try to bring him down so small that we can't bother depend on him, because him taking too long. Him too slow. Let me go play a lotto, see if something will happen for me. But we are misplacing our our faith. We are misguided. For Bible believing Christians, let us trust in God with all our heart and lean not to our understanding, because our understanding neither here nor there. Anyway, all right. Too long, too long. Thank you, King Carlton. Appreciate. Thank you very much, everyone. Really appreciate. All right. So, I hope I didn't take too long. Let me bring the curtains down. Hour and a half. Okay. All right. Wonderful. All right. So enjoy the weekend. Take care. This time we're just going to ask Queen Naturopathic Dr. Jacqueline Warner to give us her closing.
Awesome presentation, Dr. Derrick, as usual. I mean, those ideologies are so amazing, and there is questions we should ask ourselves because sometimes, like you said, we totally ignore ourselves. We get caught up in things, and we're too busy, and so forth. And sometimes we forget about ourselves. So, thank you so much. My closing. Thank you so much for your listening ear. Just think of a garden. If the weeds grow, you don't blame the soil, do you? You ask, what what was planted here? Or what was neglected, or what needs to be removed, and what needs to be nourished. Because I know when I see some funny grass, I get my pick and I start picking it up. And I said, I'm tired of you. I don't curse the soil. I really don't. So your body is that garden. Okay. Beloved, God said I wish above all things that thou mayst prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospereth. And you find that in John 3, verse 1, chapter 1, verse 2. And know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost? And we hear that over and over. Then you find that in First Corinthians chapter 6, verse 9. So take care. We must take care of our body, and not out of fear. Don't do it out of fear. Do it because you know it's right. That is correct. That is a commandment, or that God showed us the way that we should eat. But we went along. We didn't know better, and we did it. But we did it because we didn't know better. But when we know better, we do better, and that's it. And you take small steps. You say, you know what, I'm gonna cut out the dairy. No, I'm gonna cut out this, or whatever seems easier for you to do. Start somewhere, and you're gonna see the difference. But out of respect for the life God has given to each and every one of us. Okay, so enjoy the rest of the webinar. Have a beautiful and blessed weekend. Enjoy and have a beautiful evening. Dr. Derrick, back to you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much, Queen Jacqueline Warner.
You're welcome.
All right. So, thank you very much. Enjoy your weekend. Remember, this Sunday, we will have Dream Team. Sunday, Dream Team, 12:45. And Monday, it's Mindset Monday. Tuesday and Thursday, 1 p.m. It's the Yvonne Duo, Queen Yvonne Finn, and Queen Dr. Yvonne. And of course, that is at 1 p.m. And at Thursday, Thursday morning, it would be Old Passion, Singapore, Malaysia, and that is at 9 a.m. And then, of course, Tuesday and Thursday, 7 p.m. It's Deep Dive, Global Changing Lives. Thank you very much for your presence here. To all the persons here on meeting platform, and for those that are on the varied YouTube platform, I see you. Thank you very much. And okay, I see some chat. Okay, it was us saying hi and blessings and God bless. Good evening and all of that. All right, so thank you all very much for your presence. Hope you have learned something
Yes.
and you will practice what you learn because it doesn't make sense. Because if you were going to school and you learn how to multiply, you're going to practice it.
Yes.
You learn how to add, and even now you're practicing it because you add up your paycheck, your multiple paycheck, because some people have 5 jobs, so oh my goodness, 5 jobs. So you have to add up a lot of paychecks. All right. So
too
you
tired.
you see, and you have learned that from kindergarten. So long ago you learned to add 1 plus 1 from kindergarten, and you're still using it today. Okay. So we never stop learning. And if you limit yourself to stop learning, then 6 men, 6 men will help you. Thank you all very much, especially those on YouTube. We're going to close the curtain down. Enjoy your weekend, everyone. Now we have a little after party.
Good night, everybody.
Hi, Queen Roslyn.
Hi. My phone giving trouble, so I get into coming late.
Yeah, man. Better
I'm
late than
here.
never.
Yes.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. So why these open?
Thank you. I'm here forever.
Amen. Amen. All right.
Amen.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.